Women in Print Alliance is dedicated to connecting, empowering, and advancing women in the print industry. As part of Printing United Alliance, we're fostering a more inclusive future through advocacy, education, and networking opportunities that connect women across the entire industry. Join us as an individual to grow your career, expand your network, and access exclusive resources, or enroll your entire organization to show your commitment to supporting women in print. Become a member today at womeninprintalliance.org and help us shape the future of print.
Welcome to Her Imprint, part of the Impressions Exchange. I'm Denise Gustafson, your host. This podcast celebrates the remarkable women who are transforming the printing industry. We'll explore their journeys, from challenges to triumphs, and share the stories that leave a lasting imprint. So today I have with me Sarah Barr. She's owner for Conhaas Print and Marketing. So Sarah, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you on board. So to get us started, can you tell me a little bit about the company?
Sure. Conhaas Print and Marketing was started in 1991. We are actually celebrating our 35th year in business in April, so that's very exciting.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We are located in Lemoyne, PA, right outside of the capital of Harrisburg. We offer a variety of services: graphic design, printing, direct mail, signage, branded apparel. And I started with the company in 2010, bought it in 2019, and here we are, still having fun.
I'm glad you're still having fun.
Yeah.
So was that what you wanted to do when you grew up? Was printing in your blood and said, I have to be a printer?
No, never. And I actually don't know many people that are in this line of work, and they have said that. I always thought I was going to go to school and become a teacher for childhood education. And I started when I got out of school. I went and worked for a mailing fulfillment company. And then, so we did no printing, it was just the fulfillment and the mailing side. And then I worked for a plumbing and HVAC company as their dispatcher and started helping them with their marketing. Learned that I really liked marketing. I was really good at it. And I was like, I want to do this for more businesses and industries. So I actually approached the owners of Conhaas at the time. They were not hiring. And I said, I have zero experience in print, but I really love this marketing thing. I love all of you because I had worked with them for years and I want you guys to give me a shot. And they let me join. And so I started as the results specialist and just really went out there and made sure everybody knew who we were. And then, 2019, I bought it just in time for the flood before COVID.
Perfect timing? Not so much.
Yeah, everyone always says that first year of business as a business owner is the hardest, but nobody geared me up for once we got through that first year, because it was January of 2019 when I purchased. So we did my 1 year, January 2020, and then boom, it was just ready for the fun.
So you had a really difficult first 3 years, kind of.
Yes. Yes. And there was a lot of other things that happened. I ended up having to move my company during COVID.
What?
Yes, to a new location. So we were always looking for a bigger space, but what ended up happening from the previous owners, this is a lesson that you learn in business. You should always have a formal lease agreement in place. The previous owners did not. We were in our space for so many years that it was old school, like you just shake your hands and it was a business deal. And so when I bought the company, things just kind of continued on how they were. And the previous guy that owned our building ended up passing away unexpectedly. His kids took things over, decided to sell the building, and the building sold very quickly. And we got a new landlord who chased everybody else out of the building except us, wanted us to sign this crazy lease, and I wouldn't do it. And so we signed a 1 year lease. And I said, okay, I got 1 year to find a new space to move us out of it, and found a new location. And now I'm blessed where we're at. We have double the space of what we had before, and it's a great location. And so everything always works out the way that it's supposed to. But man, that was, another thing in the middle of COVID that I didn't think I was going to have to deal with. And unfortunately, that was put on my plate and I had to run with it. So,
And that's one lesson you don't necessarily want to learn.
no, No, but I made it through it. Now I can tell and I can educate others on the importance of having an official lease in place.
And it's one of those things, it's probably you didn't think about it. Everything gets paid, it gets paid on time, whatnot.
Yeah.
It's just clockwork, but
I mean, I did have a conversation with my lawyer, and he was kind of like, well, you do want to find a new space. Let's not rock the boat and force them to make you sign something that you don't want to. And then all of a sudden, I find out about it going up for sale. And he was still kind of like, yeah, they're not going to sell it that fast. It's a commercial space. We're dealing with COVID. And I want to say it was less than 90 days that the building sold.
fast.
It might have been even quicker than that. So I was like, okay, I am not a good gambler. And this is definitely a lesson why I play it safe by the book with everything that I do. So,
It's safer in the long run by playing it by the book.
yeah,
But yeah, but, I am so sorry that during that whole time and you're just getting kind of your feet under you as well,
yeah,
that
yeah.
was another thing you kinda had to learn along the way.
Hey, that's okay. Again, I'm happy. Sometimes you got to live through things so that you can be there to encourage others when they go through other things. So I just look at it as that.
Now for you, you wanted to be a teacher,
Yeah,
loved marketing, but now you're in printing.
yeah.
Marketing and printing, yes, they do go hand in hand, but what was it about print that really made it interesting for you, that made you feel like it was almost like a homecoming in a way?
So it's funny because I actually tell people now, I actually am an educator. I'm just educating a completely different market. Print excites me because it's so tangible. I love how colorful things are. But most importantly, I love to see, based on the things that we print and produce for people, how it's used and how it makes an impact in our local community, or really national, because we print and ship all over and mail all over. But it's seeing that impact based on the things that we print and how a direct mail campaign that we send out for a nonprofit, how they can end up raising thousands of dollars, knowing that it was from that we sent out, educating people on, a clinic or something, a pop up where they can go donate blood because we made a sign to explain where to go or to a poster to advertise the event, making promo products for people to hand out at events and for people to get excited over those things. That's what I love about print. It's so fun and every day is different.
Mhm.
It's not boring. I was just looking earlier at the jobs that came in from today and every job is so different. And I like the change in the day to day. I would be bored having a job where you do the same thing over and over and over again.
So I'm not gonna put you on an assembly line, that's for sure.
No, I would not do well at that. You definitely don't want me on the assembly line. I'm quick if I need to on a job, depending on if we're trying to get something out the door. I'm happy to jump in, roll my sleeves up and help. But I definitely am not at my best being on an assembly line. I definitely need to be out there in the forefront and working and educating our customers and give anyone that knows me, I am an idea generator. And then I like to help execute those ideas. So I don't like to just throw the ideas. I like to make people do them, bring them to light, and then sit back and smile and go, wow, it feels really good to know I was a part of that idea that now, because of that, this business or whatever was able to double in size or whatever, just based off an idea that I helped them come up with.
Yeah, it's really amazing the impact that print has on the communities, especially local. I mean, that's where you're gonna see it initially too.
Yeah.
You can see that impact, especially a news report. Like you said, the nonprofit raised so much money and you realize that you played a part in
Yeah.
helping that.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that most people don't understand.
Yeah. I've always said we are so much more than an order taker.
Mhm.
And we really are. And we're here, our customers are our family. And I want to see every single one of them be successful. And it's my job to educate them. If they bring something to us and they want it printed, that's great. We'll do it. But my customers know if you send me something that you want designed and it's missing important content, or I think it's too busy, or I think it needs to be a different size, or I think you should save your money and you should be doing this instead of that, they depend on me to tell them that.
You're the expert.
Yeah. Another thing too that we just started doing, we created these marketing meetups. And so we do them about quarterly and we invite our customers to come out, whoever wants to attend them. and we sit down and we talk about marketing. You keep hearing me say marketing because print will sell itself. Marketing is where the ideas come from that drives the print. And so we have these meetups at different locations quarterly, and it's a bunch of marketing professionals that come out and we sit down and we talk about our biggest marketing struggles, things that are coming up, and do they need ideas for things? And sometimes it's also about, hey, I tried this last year and it worked and it was really successful. And I think this is something that maybe somebody else here wants to do. And from a print perspective, that is so critical. And I feel like every printer in the country should try to do these meetups because I learned so much from my customers about anniversaries that they have coming up, special events that they're going to attend, and things that they're involved with. And has my radar kind of going like, oh, okay, I got to start brainstorming. What are some print related items that they could use for the event is that they have coming up or their need? If I hear them say we're really struggling with sales, okay, well, now I'm immediately thinking about what are some creative campaigns we could help them come up with that they could send to try to drive revenue for their business.
And that's part of the partnership too that
Yeah.
you have with your customers,
Yeah.
to be that resource to help educate them and really to walk that whole journey with them at the same time. Even if you try something like, look, we'll try a small section because this is a really brand new idea. We don't know how it's going to work. Let's not do as many as we normally do. We'll test it,
Yeah.
see how it works. If it works, we can roll it out more. There's different ways to go about it. And just by being with them, you're building that trust, you're building that partnership. It makes for a whole different experience.
Absolutely. And you touched base on something too that I think I've really seen a shift in the print industry. People used to order thousands of stuff anymore. It's not like that anymore. They're ordering much smaller runs of things. And again, if customers are coming to us and they're looking at trying something or it's a new a brochure they want to hand out, or maybe they just moved and I don't know, they want just a handout piece. I encourage them to do a smaller run and allow themselves to use that literature and make sure it's really going to work for them so that they're not sitting on boxes and boxes. Sure, I would love to print thousands of something
It's
for
great,
somebody
but
who wouldn't, but I feel like I'm doing a disservice to them. Let's do a smaller run, make sure all the important details are covered. If you find people are asking you things over and over again, you're like, oh, we should have added that. Well, now we can, and then we can tweak it and send or print, a larger run the next time.
and then part of it too is like, what's the quality of what's going out? Is it just that mass market, really cheap postcard or something that's going out? Or are you taking the time to add the embellishments, to really add the thoughtfulness to those pieces to
Oh,
make
yeah.
them eye catching?
Absolutely. And again, my customers, I always say like when you work with Conhas, you just have to experience it because it's a different level of service. But our customers will tell you, I always am encouraging them to use different color envelopes, embellishments, different shapes of cards, even down to their business cards. So when you go to a networking event and they pull I want your business card to be the one that they feel that different texture and go, up, this is the one that's going to win. It's something so basic, but yet it is so powerful. And I love that from the print side that we have a way to help be a part of that. And it's a lot of fun.
Now, for you, coming into the industry in 2010, you came in from the marketing side. Now you're in print, which is it's a different industry when we're talking about
Yeah.
gender, male versus female. Very different. Marketing is probably very, very heavily female.
It is. Yes.
Print, I can't say it's heavily female. Is it more than it was years ago? Yes, I can definitely say that. But there's also, because of the makeup of the industry, there's also misconceptions when it comes to roles and working in the industry. Are there's any kind of those misconceptions that you would love to like just set straight?
Oh man. I had an amazing father who really raised me and my siblings. I have two sisters and then a brother who passed away that really made us understand that we deserve to sit at any table that we want to be at. And so growing up, I never saw that differently until I entered the print industry and the print
Sorry.
space. No, that's okay. And really, it's two factors. It was being a female, but also my age, because I'm significantly younger for being a business owner. I bought my company at 30. So to be 30 and a female in a predominantly male dominated space of, I mean, let's be honest, most are probably what, 55 plus.
Most of them, it's generally middle-aged
Yeah,
white
it
guys. Yeah.
it's just the truth about the industry. So that was a little bit different for me coming into it because all of a sudden, all these things that my dad encouraged to, explain to me over the years, now it's like, whoa, I'm totally getting a different vibe from people in the industry. And I would just say, I just command that respect from them. And sometimes you have to educate them on, no, I deserve to be here. Yep, I'm your buyer. I was at the large trade show for our industry. I took my main production guy with me. I had a conversation with him on the plane about how I just want to let you know, I know you don't normally come to this kind of stuff, but you're going to see something happen. And it's just the reality. You're going to see people not talk to me. They're going to speak to you. And he thought I was crazy. And we went to the show, and that is exactly how it went down. And they would step in front of me. And what I loved about him that came with me and is one of my best employees, he would stop conversations and say, Sarah is your buyer. Sarah is a part of this conversation. Sarah is the decision. And he just kept reiterating my name. So I'm very fortunate. I actually know a lot of great men in our industry, and they are advocates for me and my small business. But there's a lot of change that still needs to happen in this industry.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's come further than it has,
Yes.
but
Definitely.
there's still a ways to go,
Yes.
especially
Unfortunately.
especially when you start talking about pay equity, about just
Yes.
making sure you're in the room. I mean, there's so many things that you can go down that are just not where they need to be yet.
I will say I am very excited though, because over the years, I've had a chance to talk to a lot of people that are interested in buying their companies. And it is really neat to see a shift in the industry where a lot of these next generation owners are female.
Mhm.
And I love it. I'm here for it all day. I mean, I'll support anybody. I just want you to be a good person. But it's really exciting to see the amount of women that are coming in and really changing up the landscape of the print industry. And I'm here for it.
Yeah, and all the women that I speak to that especially in the C-suite, 10 years ago, I would not have been able to have as many conversations as I have
Yeah.
with women in the C-suite just because they weren't there, but those that paved the way, that were those pioneers,
Yeah.
really it demonstrated to those that are just entering the industry that, look, there is a path for you. If
Yeah.
that's what you want, if ownership of a company is what you want, you can easily do that here.
Yeah.
But I mean, besides the printing industry, I mean, there was issues just in even women getting loans. That was still a problem not that long ago.
I know. I know. But I really am happy to see such a change and a shift. And I just hope we can keep going in that right direction. And I think it's doing things like you're doing, having conversations, raising awareness about these situations. That's how change is going to continue to happen.
Mhm. And I think in some cases, it's not intentional.
No, no, I don't think they realize when they're doing it half the time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
A lot of times once you bring it up, then they apologize. They realize that, "Whoops," you
Yeah.
know.
But but it's funny though, because as a female, sometimes if we do bring it up, we come across as a certain word that I won't say out loud, but
Mhm.
that we are a certain way. And it's like, well, if a guy brought this up though, it would be okay. But because I'm bringing it up, that makes me
Yeah.
fill in the blank, whatever you want that to be. So it's just, yeah, it's interesting. That's for
Yeah.
certain.
That's one of the things I always say. You have a woman that may be a little bit more aggressive or a little bit pushier in terms of
Yeah.
making sure that they're getting what they want, etcetera, and it's looked down on.
Yeah.
But in the same situation, you would have a guy doing the same exact things. Could be the same
Yeah.
tone, even the same words. "Oh, look at him, he's a go-getter."
Yes.
And
It's
it's
so true.
so frustrating.
It is. It's so true though. And I'm sure if you talk to other people in other industries too, they probably all have similar in banking, finance,
Mhm.
different other industries. It's the same thing. But yeah, I don't know. It's tough.
And what I think is interesting, though, as we're getting the newer generations as they're coming in, there's been a change too in the willingness to have some of those conversations. I'm Gen X. That's not a conversation that we really had. My parents did not have that conversation in the industry, in work. It was just you worked, you did what you had to do. But now there's definitely a more openness to have the conversations about work-life balance, about advocating for yourself in different ways, which I think is going to help industries as a whole.
Yeah, definitely. The whole work-life balance. Oh, we could probably have 3-hour conversation on that topic.
Does that actually exist?
I don't think so. And that's something that I struggled with for a lot of years. And I finally just came to the realization when I'm doing my best and giving my all at my work, at home, I'm failing probably miserably. I'm not keeping up with my laundry. I don't have dinner ready, at a reasonable time. But then when I'm at home and I'm killing it, I'm probably not killing it at my office. And so I used to just allow myself to get beat up over that. And now I'm just like, it is what it is. And I'm just doing the best that I can with the time that I'm given. And I just really make sure I talk a lot about my circle of influence and the people that I have in my life because I have zero time to put people in my circle that are not understanding and empathetic towards the craziness of trying to run a business and then still have a balance of life outside of the chaos of a company. So yeah, so I think we're all a work in progress in that area, but I think once you master that there is no such thing as the perfect work life balance and you just make the most of what you have, I think that's the secret to winning in that area.
I think it's a very balanced view, and it's a
Yeah.
hard thing to come to grips with for a lot of women.
Yeah. Oh, and believe me, I sound very confident talking to you right now about that, but it took me years of failing miserably and all of that to just finally be like, you know what? I'm good enough at what I'm doing, when I'm doing, how I'm showing up, when I'm showing up. And again, it's surrounding yourself around people that get it and understand. Like I might not be able to check in on you for 2 months. And that makes me feel like a horrible friend. But I know when I do check in with you, we're gonna pick right back up where we left off because my work, for whatever reason, a season of work has just required more attention from me. And I'm thankful I have an amazing husband who supports me and he's in the construction industry. And so we have this conversation. He goes to work and when he leaves at the end of the day, he shuts his equipment off and his job site sits there until the next day. That does not exist in my world.
Yeah, no, it
And
doesn't.
sometimes I come in and I have more email than when I even left. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And here I thought I was going to do these, 10 things today. And now I have these 12 rush things in my email that happened and it's just, yeah, it's welcome to chaos. I just try to be the best chaos coordinator I can.
I'd like that. So that's gonna be the new title, Chaos Coordinator?
Yeah, I have a shirt actually, and I have a hat that both say those things because it's just true. And
It is very, very true. And we're
there's
not gonna
a
talk
lot of
about
women.
my dust bunnies in the corners either. So,
Yeah.
it's one or the other in many instances.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of women that could wear that shirt well, though, or the hat.
Of course we
Yeah.
could.
Yeah.
So in terms of you getting into the printing industry, you didn't necessarily have a background in print,
Mhm.
but yet you came on board and then you not that long after bought the company
Yeah.
you're working for. How did you get there? I mean, how did you do the learning? How did you figure it all out in order to know that this is right and this is where I want to be?
Ooh, that is a loaded
I
question.
know, I'm sorry.
Okay. No, that's okay. So again, started in 2010, 2013. It was a husband and wife that owned the company originally. She had health issues and needed to leave the business pretty immediately. And very quickly, I learned that she was a lot of the brains behind the operation of the business. And so at that point, I did not have a college degree and I did not have 7 years experience, which if you look at any application, that's almost what they all want, either a college degree or 7 years. And so at that moment, I knew I needed to make it work. And so I taught myself everything from HR to negotiating equipment sales, how to invoice, how to quote. Really, I was always a people person. So I just really taught myself how to become a leader because we needed one. And I knew I didn't have another option if I walked out the door from the company. And so I knew I was kind of it.
So you had to
So
make it
I
work.
went, yeah. So I went to a conference for it was MPOA's conference. Now they're MPSOA, but I went to their conference. And I remember at the time I wasn't the owner and I was an owner's conference. And I'm like, nobody is going to want to listen to me. I have no value to provide. I'm not an owner. And I didn't realize little by little, I was sharing ideas about marketing with them because I knew a lot about that. And very quickly, I learned all these people were so open and receptive to getting to know me and gave me a lot of great insight on AR and accounting and estimating and all of these other areas of my business with equipment and negotiating and all of that. But they were not that great and strong in marketing. And so I was able to bring something to the table that they were able to bring. And then I was at another conference and we were out to dinner and we were sitting there and I was just talking about something because I was doing the sales for my company. And they said, "Why are you not buying your business?" And I just kind of sat there and I looked at them and they're like, "Well, you're already running it and you're doing the sales. Why would you not?" And so I left that event, came home on the plane and was really thinking about it, had a conversation with my husband. And I said, "You know what? I really, I'm young. I have a lot of life ahead of me. I'm obviously not retiring tomorrow. I have a great staff. This is a good business. We have great customers. I really should have a conversation with him to see I'm his buyer. I'm not a stranger. Everybody knows me. I'm respected. Like I'm his buyer." And so we had a conversation about it. And at first, I didn't actually think it was going to go somewhere. And then it got down to a really difficult decision of was I going to stay or was I going to leave and try to start my own print company from scratch? And luckily he came around and we sat down, had a real heart to heart. And to this day, he's still here and is my delivery guy and would do anything for me. And I'm not related to him or anything. And so that's been a great experience, but it wasn't an easy journey to get to the owner's seat. And by no means did I ever wake up one day and say I want to be the owner of a print company. But here I am.
But I mean,
2026 is still going strong.
which it's just amazing because I mean, just all the administrative stuff, like you said, the AR, all of the stuff, the payroll, the accounting.
Yeah.
Part of me is like, where do you even start when you're trying to do that? And
Yeah.
then on top of that, you have to layer on the industry stuff, the equipment.
Yeah.
Like you said, negotiating for equipment
Yeah.
and leases versus purchasing the equipment. I mean, there's so much that goes into it.
There is. And I want to you're going to hear me talk about circle of influence. I call them my buckets of influence, but I have my local bucket of friends and family. I have my local business network bucket, and then I have my national bucket. And I really owe it to all three of those buckets to keep me sane and keep me well oiled and moving forward. And the one thing that I told myself when I was running the company before I even bought the business, you're good at what you're good at. Stay in that lane and hire people to do the things that you don't know how to do or you don't want to do and do not bring you joy. And so I am very thankful that locally I have an amazing accountant, bookkeeper, insurance agent, lawyer, payroll company, financial advisor. I know I'm missing someone, but banker. And so like I try to take those people all out together once a year and just thank them for their support because I trust all of them. I know they know their parts. And by them understanding taxes and other rules and regulations for their portion of what they do, that helps me be able to focus more on the industry
Hmm.
and my day-to-day operations. And then I am able to reach out to those contacts that I have nationally now when something comes up. And sometimes it's as simple as I have this idea, I kind of want to run with it, but I'm just not sure where to go. I can pick up the phone and call some of my print friends and we can brainstorm And now we've created a marketing idea that we can all use across the nation because we're no competition to each other.
Hmm.
And so I'm all about collaboration. And again, that saves my brain. So if we can get together and work as a group on something, I am all about that than me trying to do it solo.
So, where did you find those people to go in those buckets?
Well, again, it took me a while to really identify who are those good people. There's a lot of people I know, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to let them in my buckets. There's a lot of people that are energy takers, and I don't have time for that anymore. So again, it was from going to association conferences, it was going to local networking events in my area and just really creating a list of people that I knew would be good people to have in my corner.
In a way, it's also just putting yourself out there to make those connections.
Yes, which can be scary and intimidating if you don't have the right personality. So when you go to like the big expos, that can be overwhelming.
Hmm.
There's just thousands of people everywhere. So I encourage people to start small within your industry, find a much smaller event where maybe there's 150 or less people, and it's totally going to be out of your comfort zone, but just go. They will have receptions, networking events, different activities, lunches, things like that. Growth never happens when you're being comfortable, right? That's what you always hear.
Yep.
It's the same thing in this situation. So start small and those connections will naturally continue to grow. And if you do go to those events, don't go to your room when it's lunchtime and check your emails. Go where everybody else is. If there is an activity in the evening, don't go out to dinner by yourself. Go to the facilitated scheduled dinner, or if there's an activity at Top Golf or whatever, go. Force yourself to do something that you're not used to doing. I just started golf last year. For years, I've printed everything for a golf tournament. I've volunteered at a golf tournament. I've never ever knew how to golf in a million years. And last year, there was an intro clinic for women. And I thought, this is great because all these other women, they're not good at it either. So I was starting at a good entry level. And that has been a game changer for me. And now I've had business conversations and I finally understand when they say, do you know how many deals that happen on a golf course? I now understand that.
It's a casual situation. Things come up. You just start chatting. You have a certain, rapport with with the people that you're with that in that foursome. So of course things are
Yeah.
going to come up.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's been a great experience. I never in a million years thought I'm hooked on golf. I'm even planning my own golf tournament now. So look at that, how that just all kind of worked out for itself. But
That's kind of crazy.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I do have to say that's one sport I have not taken up is golf. Well, I don't do a ton of sports, but it's I don't know.
I think it's different when it's all women.
Okay.
We have in our area, it's called She Said Golf. And it was two girls that started, I mean, they're women, but started it because their dad was an insurance guy and their whole family golfed. And so they came up through the channels of playing golf and they realized there's not a lot of women out on the golf course. And so they decided to start this very social club to get women to come out to the local driving range. And now they've expanded. So they started in PA, they've expanded into Delaware, and they have now opened it up. They're looking at opening chapters across the country. They were just at the PGA show in January and had an event down there that was sold out for people to come to Top Golf. Like there's a lot of women out there. They just are intimidated
Yeah.
about men and doing something because we are women and we want to be good at everything we do. We can't possibly try something new if we don't know if we're going to master it from the beginning.
Yeah, I've been told that I don't do well with things that I don't do well with. It's
Yes. And that is probably like 95% of the women in your life. And so they wanted to create the space to allow women to golf. And I've talked about it for years, but I've been so intimidated to do it with guys. And so I was like, okay, this is my sign. There's an intro golf clinic for women. I'm going to do it. And now I'm headed to a print conference next month and I'm golfing with guys on the golf course. Can you believe that?
awesome.
If you would have told me that a year ago, I would have told you you're crazy, but
Who
you just got to
knows
try
what
something new.
never know what will come out of it, right?
Yes. Yes.
So, as we're wrapping up, my favorite question that I ask as we're kind of concluding everything is knowing what you know now. So, all of the journey that you've had to get where you are, all the schooling that you had, the different jobs you've had. If you were just entering the industry now, what advice would you give yourself?
This is really funny because I have conversations with my 13-year-old niece, and I swear I'm talking to my younger self with the advice that I give her. Appreciate the journey. We are not brain surgeons, so do not take your job too seriously. Be proud of what you do. Be kind in the process, but you're not a brain surgeon. So don't stress yourself out if someone doesn't get back to you by 4 p.m. with a proof approval of something. Have fun and enjoy your life and make sure that whole work life balance thing that we talked about. Never get too busy making a life that you forget to live your life. And I don't care who you work for, you have to have a good balance between going to work and giving it your all. But when you leave at the end of the day, leave at the end of the day, leave it. Don't be checking your email. Don't be responding. Give yourself permission to create that balance and realize that those people can wait until the next day for you. And the pressure we put on ourselves is not worth it. And do not be an overthinker. And just know whatever you're bringing to the table, you are good enough and believe in yourself and you're capable of anything.
Those are all amazing words of wisdom.
Yeah. I just said that to my 13-year-old niece the other day. She's looking at all this stuff on her schedule. And I'm like, life is too short, girlfriend. Just enjoy the moment, enjoy the ride, have fun with what you're doing. And again, you're not a brain surgeon. It's not going to be the end of the world if you forget that line. She's in a school musical coming up and she's worried about remembering all of her lines and the pressure of doing this and performing well for her teachers and making sure she's getting the best grades for her parents. And I'm like, just enjoy the ride.
Have fun.
Breathe. Remember to breathe. That's the other important thing. Breathe, 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 breathe.
Yeah. And unfortunately, as much as we want to say, like, yes, we're going to do all of these things, I think it's by measure every day.
Yeah.
Some days you're going to overthink it. Women were
Yeah.
overthinkers, I think.
Just pick one thing that you can focus on changing. And if I can give another piece of advice quick, I have a happy box. Do you have a happy box?
I do not. What is your happy
Okay,
box?
so I think every female deserves to have one of these boxes. So go out and buy one if you don't own one. Find something really cute that you'll put on a shelf. And over the years, I have collected thank you notes, inspirational things, awards I've been given when I've been featured in news articles. I've cut out clippings. I saved pictures of moments in time that I really cherish. And when you're having those really bad, crappy days that we just all have, do not be hard on yourself. Go pull that happy box out and sit there and reflect and go through all of those things in that box and remind you of what life is truly about and what brings you happiness and joy at some point in your life, whatever is in that box did. So sometimes we get so busy that we need to be reminded every once in a while. And I think every person, but every female especially, go women, that we should all have a happy box.
I think I might need to go to Home Goods and get myself the happy box.
Yes, make it cute, bedazzle it, whatever you need to do, but just something that stands out on that shelf. And yeah, when you're just having that day or you get that email and you just feel so defeated, pull that box out. I'm telling you, it makes me smile every time. My shoulders instantly feel, not as,
They release.
uh, yes, I can breathe again. And it just helps me keep going. So I encourage the happy box.
Well, that's great advice. And like I said, I'm going to have to head out to Home Goods and find myself a happy box now.
Yes. Yes. I love it.
Well, Sarah, thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with me today. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you. It was such a pleasure to finally be able to connect and do this. So I'm looking forward to listening to more episodes too in the future.
Thanks again. Thank you for joining us on this journey to celebrate and amplify the voices of women in the printing industry. If you have a story to share or know someone whose journey deserves to be highlighted, we'd love to hear from you. Together, let's continue inspiring and empowering the next generation of leaders. Until next time, keep leaving your imprint. This is Her Imprint. See you soon.